And so I'm watching this, and I don't really understand much of it. But again, it's part of getting into the atmosphere, the culture, the mood of the language. Hi there, Steve Kaufman here. My first week of my 90-day challenge. How has your first week been in your 90-day challenge? As I said, I'm trying to maintain a streak in two languages, Arabic and Persian, and I'm also focusing on those two languages to some extent. So I want to every week sort of do a video where I talk about how my week went. Hopefully that's of interest and relevant to whatever you're doing. Don't forget to click on the bell if you would like to subscribe and get notifications. So the 90-day challenge began officially on June the 1st. I came back to Vancouver the evening of the 28th of May. And of course, we're in quarantine, my wife and I, and following their various protocols. We get emails daily. We've even had a phone call to check on us to make sure we're in quarantine. Day 8, we had to do our test again. We were online Zoom conferencing with a nurse who took us through our steps, and we put our test samples in a little bag and notified the Purolator, the courier service, so they could come and pick it up. We left it in our mailbox. So those kinds of things. And so, I think any one of us who's in a 90-day challenge, we have other things happening in our lives. In our case, for example, we went down to California, because it's warmer down there, but primarily because we had major renovations in our house, drywall dust and floors being sanded and this kind of thing, and we wanted to get away from this. In order for that renovation to take place, we had to move all kinds of stuff into a few rooms. And now we're going back in there and gradually putting things back and then trying to figure out what really we shouldn't keep, because we've got, things that we've had for 50 years. And all of this is very time consuming. I'm able to do a lot of it while listening to Arabic or Persian. However, you can't do all of it that way, because sometimes you do have to focus, and I have to interact with my wife and that sort of thing. So essentially what I've done the first week is I said week 1 is going to be Arabic, and I want to get into, as I've said, sort of Egyptian Arabic. Fortunately, my tutor for standard Arabic, Mohammed, is from Cairo. He's an excellent tutor, and of course he obviously speaks Egyptian. So we have been doing some Egyptian. I've now had 2 sessions where I read the Egyptian mini stories, and then he asks me questions and I answer. And so this is very effective, actually, in terms of getting me into saying things in Egyptian, understanding Egyptian. And I am finding that exploring the regional variants, the spoken variants of Arabic, is very helpful, because very often the political podcast that I listen to will have someone on there whose standard Arabic is very much influenced by Levantine or Egyptian Arabic, and both Levantine and Egyptian Arabic are closer to each other than they are to standard Arabic. So it's all good, all right? Now, because I'm not going to write a test on my Arabic, and I'm quite content to let it, putt along, I progress as much as I progress. So it's easy for me to get distracted. So, and this has happened before. My wife likes to watch films on Netflix, series, usually in foreign languages, and very often that will attract me to a language. So she started watching this thing called Bade Hotellet, or Seaside Hotel, in Danish. And, I can't help it. First of all, it's a fun show, really a lot of fun. And I like the scenery in northern Jylland in Denmark. It's silly, of course, like all these series are, but the great thing about these Netflix series is that you kind of get together in the evening with your friends, or so it seems. The people in this show, they're forever having dinner and talking, and the same group of people are meeting, and so I join them. It's like joining a group of friends every evening, so it is a lot of fun. I like listening to Danish, so I said, geez, I got to get better at Danish, because there's a lot of words in Danish that are not like Swedish, here and there. So you kind of get the gist, but you miss a lot. So I went into my mini stories in Danish at Link, and discovered that, if I remember correctly, kun is a woman. I guess that's kvinna, kun, and kon is only, I think. And there's a whole bunch of rather key little words like that are quite different in Danish than they are in Swedish. So I went through listening to 25 mini stories, discovered that we only have 25, so I'm hoping we can get the rest of them done. I think we should get all the mini stories completed at Link in those languages where they aren't complete. But it's also an example of how we have to enjoy what we're doing. And if along the way, while I'm doing my Arabic, I'm attracted by Danish, or as happened with Turkish, I'm doing Arabic and Persian, and then my wife is watching a Turkish series, so I go in and learn a little bit of Turkish, and I'll probably do that again at some point. So that's kind of the way my week's been going. And typically I'll get on my stepper and listen to one of my Arabic contents if it's Arabic week. And then I said to myself, where I have my stepper, we actually have another TV. So I said, geez, I'm going to see if I can find a movie in Egyptian Arabic. And I found this movie called Asma. It's about a woman in Egypt who, very complicated story, but has AIDS and encounters difficulties. And it's a great movie. And so I'm watching this, and I don't really understand much of it. But again, it's part of getting into the atmosphere, the culture, the mood of the language. So I'm continuing to, I've set myself rather minimal goals. I want to create 13 links a day, and I'm doing it. I sort of get up and get started on that in Arabic and Persian. In Arabic, it's not difficult to do because I just have to go onto YouTube or somewhere, find something, France 24, interview, capture, the URL, put it on this website I have, YouTube to MP3, download the MP3 file, take the MP3 file over to Happy Scribe. I get the transcript, I import that as a lesson. And in Arabic, there's always lots of words, blue words. It's more difficult to do that in Persian because there isn't so much stuff available on YouTube in Persian. And in Persian, for whatever reason, there are fewer blue words. Like Arabic has so many words. There's always words. I get full of yellow words now that I don't know. Whereas in Persian, there are fewer of them. I don't know why that is. It just seems like Arabic has a lot more words. Anyway, so I quickly get to my 13 links created. Although today I've got 30 links created for Arabic because I get into an article and very quickly I'm creating these links. Whereas in Persian, I haven't yet started today. So my Persian is lagging behind. I see that on the sort of Streak with Steve challenge, I'm like my rank 1,560 or something. I'm not very high up because there are people who are, working harder. In my case, I have to have a streak. I'm not sure how the system works because I'm doing 2 languages, but I've set a rather low level, a low bar. So to that extent, I'm keeping up with my goal. But the main thing about the sort of making sure I get my 13 links created every day is that it just triggers me. It starts me off, okay? And next week I'm going to do more Persian. I'm going to have conversations with Sahra. I'm going to do more Persian content, but still keep the burner going on Arabic so that I don't slip too far behind. And that's kind of my situation. That's what I've been doing, and we'll see how the next week goes. And I'm curious to know how everyone else's challenge is proceeding. Bye for now.